Welcome. In front of me I have the Xiaomi POCO Pad M1, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device, its specifications and my general opinions about the device itself. Okay, so let's just get straight into this. I do want to say POCO with the phones has been absolutely smashing it. So let's hope that the tablet is basically more of just that. What the hell is this? Oh, nice stickers. And they don't look absolutely cringe. Okay. Ugh. Smells like China. Anyway. So there's some information right here. Actually, I'm not gonna go into those right here. So let's just open it up and read them later on. This is a chunky device. It's not a super light one. Below that we have our charging cable. It's a Type A to Type C. Some paperwork with the European Union energy sticker, so we get about 103 hours of battery life, and that's it. That's honestly a little bit disappointing. There wasn't much in there. Let's boot it up. There we go. So, in a second, once the phone actually turns on, you will see the display. Now, unfortunately, I can already see the bezels aren't that great right here. And checking the actual figure, we're looking at 83.5% screen-to-body ratio. So, the bezels right here look a little bit dated. Not the worst, obviously. It's very manageable. And now this screen size right here is a 12.1 inches with a 1600 by 2560 pixel resolution, and that puts it at 249 pixels per inch. It is also unfortunately just an IPS LCD display, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, so that's nice. Again, the bullshit gimmick of including Dolby Vision here, and a brightness of about 600 nits. So it's okay, but nothing really special, I'm gonna say. So I would have much rather see like an AMOLED display right here, or higher brightness rather than the 600. But all in all, it's still serviceable. If you're not gonna be watching too many movies on this device or TV shows, AMOLED display might not matter as much, but this is primarily what I would be using this for probably. So content viewing, and I would like that content to look stupidly crisp, and that's basically why I'd like to have AMOLED display right here, or even OLED. They're basically the same. So that's just kind of my approach here. And with an LCD display, you're not really gonna get those nice infinite inky blacks right here, and higher contrast ratios, better color saturation and all that stuff that you'd do with an AMOLED display. So that's just a little bit of a disappointing part right here. But moving on, we can move to the camera, which is just a single one on the back in this gold-like ring. Not the biggest fan of that. Everything else looks silver and minimalistic. Not sure why there's gold. It seems a little bit tacky, but anyway. So that is a 8 megapixel wide sensor, if you care about the cameras on your tablet, and it can record videos up to 1080p at 30 frames. And the front one has basically the same thing, 8 megapixels, 1080p, 30 frames. Come on. So camera wise, obviously nothing to really go wild about right here. And in terms of the internals, we have a whopping 12,000 milliamp hour battery that can be charged at 33 watts, which is decent, not the best. Actually, before I start kind of talking crap about this, let me just quickly check one thing. I want to know how much this costs, because obviously the cost of any device basically lives and dies by the price that the manufacturer wants for something. And this is just about $250 right now on sale on the official POCO website. So to be exact, it's 1099 PLN. Now PLN is actually a little bit differently. Wait, what's the exchange rate right now nowadays? Quickly check that. To USD. Oh, for God's sakes, are you kidding me? So okay, so that is about $300 at a current exchange rate. Now obviously that might differ, like the price, even if you're looking at it at the same time. The Xiaomi company might be selling it at a different price, for instance something like at $250, to continue the typical kind of price that you would normally have at a normal exchange rate of about like 1 to 4. That's usually what PLN to USD is. Or well, the other way, USD to PLN, 1 through 4. So that would at that point put it at like 250. Well, right now, considering that the dollar is 365, we're looking at basically $300 exchange rate. So that's how much it costs right now. But where I'm from, this is an insanely good price for actually not that bad of a device. The fact that it's running at 120 Hz refresh rate, the display, and has a stupidly big battery right here is already in itself a pretty good task. And additionally, the processor is a Snapdragon 7S Gen 4. Not the best processor that you can get, but for the minuscule price that this device comes at, I say it's a very adequate price for performance. Now, I also want to point out, I kind of expect just a little bit more from this, because for instance, the Xiaomi POCO F8 Ultra. Now that device absolutely blasts everything out of the water. This device came in here blasting cheeks wide open of every other manufacturer. Like what they have priced at a mid-range price, it completely, like, absolutely, motorboats anyone's cheeks right here. So for mid-range price, they're giving you the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 with the AMOLED display and like everything being just stupidly high specification. And the only thing is just the cameras being a little bit mid. So I was expecting something along those lines right here as well to be like stupidly good, because I mean the phones were like, they were insane. But here it's more of a step down. It's more what you would expect. And still, actually, for what they charge, is still more than I would expect, to be completely fair. It's just, when I look at the phone and how much it over-delivered for the price and how much this one, I guess, over-delivers, there is a big discrepancy. So, a little bit less underwhelming, or overwhelming. So, anyway, still, fantastic device. Now, anything else that I wanted to mention? All right, the RAM and storage. Now, there's only one version of it, 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM with expandable storage. Now, you can see there is just an SD card, no SIM tray. But the fact that you can pop in an SD card in here is freaking fantastic. So you don't need to really worry about the storage, as you can just pop in like a terabyte storage card right here, SD card, and you're good to go. So yeah, it's a great device. One more thing that might be kind of a bummer for some people. So it's coming with the HyperOS 2. It just really depends. You might love it or hate it. I personally don't really like this. It tries to imitate Apple a little bit too much, in my opinion. I prefer just the Android. That's why I buy Android devices. If I wanted something that is like iOS, I would literally go buy a iPad, but I don't. So here, I'm not the biggest fan of it. The two-sided kind of control center, notifications on the other side. The look kind of gives me just Apple vibes. The dock at the bottom right here, it's all kind of Apple-like, and I just am not the biggest fan. But that being said, it is running Android 15 under that. Now where is it? All right, it's right here about device, and there we go, Android version 15. So here we go. And for, like I said, the $250 to $300 price range, this device is still pretty freaking good. I personally would like to spend just maybe a little bit more and get something that has an AMOLED display if I were looking for a tablet, but that's just my personal kind of opinion. I know that not everyone will be the same way. So for the price, this is a great device. It seems like Xiaomi has popped out some absolute bangers this year with the F8 Pocos and the M1. Like, these devices are pretty good. Now they're all in a different kind of different price ranges, as for instance the tablet right here is more closer to like the low end, especially when it comes down to tablets, while still delivering great experience, while the F8 phones, Poco phones, are kind of the Pro and Ultra, are Pro being kind of mid-range device, just priced a little bit lower than the mid-range, while the Ultra is the flagship that is priced as a mid-range. So in general, all these devices kind of are at the different kind of price ranges and catering to different audience, I would say, as well. Tablets, phones, obviously. But no matter what they are just absolutely clowning on the competition right here. So if you're gonna see in 2026 any device that is coming with a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 and it comes at $1,000 price range, just remember F8 Ultra exists at basically half the price, which means there is no reason for any phone to be this expensive. Anyway, so that about sums it up. I hope you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.